Share with us your thoughts about singing some Wagner. I think these are the differences between this experience and singing, say, Schubert or Weinberg or anything.
Wagner is one of those composers where once you actually start working on the songs themselves, you start to realise the genius that he is. That you're working on him, you realise the inner workings, the tempo changes, lots of subtle key changes that go on, and generally to reflect the emotions that he's trying to portray, and the different shadings, the moving between light and dark, between happy and sad. It's agitated. It doesn't stay still. He's moving all the time shifting between different moods constantly, and you have to go with that and reflect that, and you've really got to be attentive to the music and the words. It's not so. That's in a way something that I think makes the music quite different from Schubert. Say a Schubert song where you might get suddenly the sky darkens. You've been kind of out in a blue sky within a lovely field or whatever, and then suddenly things get darker and then it kind of brightens up again or whatever. But so that you get changes of mood going on there, say in Schubert or whatever, but that are kind of they're a bit more clearly compartmentalized and a bit more four square. Whereas the Wagner, there's kind of in a way greater subtlety, more frequent shifts.
What about vocally speaking? Do you find those easier or more challenging, say, than your classical repertoire? The Wagner's obviously, it's a bigger thing. And also, if you could just say a word about the fact that it's often associated with a soprano voice or a high voice, what is it like singing as a bass baritone?
Well, this particular edition that we're doing, which Matthias Gerner's recorded, in fact, fits like a glove, actually. I mean, it fits the bass baritone voice really like a glove. It just happens to fall perfectly for that voice type. So yes, that's right, that these are songs that are written for a dramatic Wagnerian soprano, but nonetheless are very demanding, and also obviously with an orchestral accompaniment too, requiring all sorts of, again, going back to what I was just saying about the shifts in mood. So you've got to reflect that through the palette of colours. I've not sung, I've sung a lot of composers, lots and lots of Verdi, Mozart, some Russian song, but I've never sung Wagner. However, the Wesendonck actually somehow works more easily. I just find that the writing for the voice in the Wesendonck Lieder is excellent. You often find that isn't the case with many German composers, actually. Mozart's exceptionally difficult for the voice, and I've often found it very odd that young singers are given Mozart to work with, because I think that Mozart's a fiendishly difficult composer. Big intervals, big ranges, very, very demanding stuff.
In comparison, is the Wagner more?
I think the Wagner that I looked at in the past, I found more difficult. But I find the Wesendonck Lieder, in a way, oddly, is kind of, in terms of the way that it's written vocally, is somehow more aligned with the kind of bel canto repertoire, which is, I think, healthier and easier for younger voices. And it's something, by the way, that I've confirmed. Well, confirmed, if you want to say that, but by Dmitry Forostovsky, who I spoke to in depth on 2 occasions, who agreed that Mozart was a bad idea for young voices, and that he had actually sung bel canto and worked a lot on bel canto when he was a younger singer. That's much, much healthier for the voice. But we're going a little bit off-piste with this. But I do think German composers in general, Bach and Beethoven, also extremely difficult. Beethoven really wrote badly in a way for the voice, but of course he was a total genius and the music's completely wonderful, so you do everything you can to make it work. Bach wrote for the voice like a musical instrument. Again, Bach's probably my favourite composer of all, so you'll do anything to make that music work. But